this week we're going to go over the offensive depth chart, but I want to make it a little bit more interactive. And instead of me giving you my idea for what the depth chart is, I want to kind of hear from you guys, position by position, on what you think the depth chart is. We'll start at quarterback first, and we'll let Dev, our guest, go first tonight. Dev, give me your starter and your second and third string going in the spring at the quarterback position.
Well, I'll go with the most obvious take is Julian Sand starting with Lincoln Keenholz backing it up, Tavian Sinclair behind him. We'll see what Ryan Day does in the portal. I don't think he's going after a starter or anything, but I said on my show recently that I might give Lincoln a little bit more credit than what most are. I know the coaches are obsessed with Julian Sand, heck of a prospect coming out of high school and all that stuff. But I'm just, Lincoln Keenholz believes he can win the starting job, and that's what you want. I totally get that. But I'm just not sleeping on him as I don't think it's such a guarantee as everybody thinks. And I know that's completely against the grain of most everybody that I talk to. But Julian Sam, I think, will win out with Keenholz closer to him than most think.
JR and Corey, you guys agree with that?
No. I think Lincoln will start. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I agree.
I was like, really? Oh man, you got to give the kid credit for.
He's going
You
to
got to
leave
give.
after spring, I bet.
Well, and I was about ready to just go down that path. Andre says, "Do you think that our Buckeyes will visit the portal like they were doing 1 year ago?" I think they almost have to at the quarterback position. I have another position that I think on the offensive side, I think they go portaling, but I do believe that they're going to have to bring in at least one more guy, if not two, at the quarterback position, if indeed Lincoln decides he's going to jump in the portal as well. JR, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason other than maybe wanting if Chip Kelly were still there, maybe you would have Lincoln Keenholz because he's more mobile and stuff like that. But with Brian Hartline coming in, it just makes complete sense that Julian Sain is going to be the guy. I don't disparage Lincoln Keenholz at all. I think Lincoln Keenholz is going to be a very good someplace else. But with the way things are set up for this year, I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay. Um, any idea on where you think Lincoln would go if he decided to go portaling?
Well, there was all that smoke about Iowa last year.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to one of the North Dakota, South Dakota schools for a year. Has a good year there, and
Yeah.
then maybe tries to come back up to FBS or Power 4 or something like that. But it also wouldn't surprise me if he, goes to one of the Mountain West schools, someplace, Boise State, something like that, and tries to make a name for himself there. Are they technically Pac-12 yet? Some of them, or at least next year they're going to be. So there might be a little bit more cachet there with that, but yeah.
He could go back to the Dakotas and just be a superstar if he wanted to be.
He could. I don't know. Like, to go from Ohio State to like South Dakota State or like North Dakota, like those are really good FCS programs, but
Mhm.
it would be like for a guy like Logan George to go from Idaho State to Ohio State. That's absolutely huge. That's every kid's dream in the FCS, right? Like, there's not too many kids that are like, yeah, I'll go down to the FCS. It's fine.
Ooh, let's answer this question from Stephen French. Could it be a waste of NIL money if Sane doesn't start?
That's an interesting thing because I was about to say, I believe no matter what, Ryan Day is going to start the best quarterback. That's just what I think. So if for some reason, and I do want to get your guys' take on this. Let's play this out. Let's say Lincoln Keenholz is looking better in practice and everything. Does Ryan Day do that? With all the moves he brought in, Julian Sand with Air Nolan and kind of disrupted that flow a little bit. You guys trust Ryan Day to just simply put the better quarterback on the field?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Ryan Day has nil in his mind and wasting nil money. I think he's got national titles in his mind.
I think he's earned that cachet.
Yeah.
that if he were to do that, I think the powers that be would be like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
but um, but the beard says no. So
No.
Well, and I think too, like let's also consider Brian Hartline is the offensive coordinator now. Like he's going to be looking out for his guys, whoever can deliver them the ball the best. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Will Howard was great last year. Don't get me wrong. Like I love Will Howard. I think Will Howard, will always be remembered as a great Buckeye, and all this stuff. But he wasn't always the best deliverer of the football, and you could tell that was frustrating at times for the wide receivers. He's a very good quarterback, did a lot of things really, really well. But if you have Julian Say in there, who just has an arm of gold from everything it sounds like, you got to get him in there. You got to get him throwing the ball to those guys.
let me push back on this comment 1 second. Ryan Day has only developed one quarterback. Rest were transfers. Um, who are we calling the developed quarterback? CJ? Is that who we're saying the quarterback was?
Sure.
But
Yeah.
how do you not accredit the development of Justin Fields to Ryan Day?
Or Will Howard. I don't.
Because people make the assumption that when they transfer here, they're a finished product, and that's just simply not true.
That's just incorrect.
Will Howard, if you watch him at Kansas State and Ohio State, it is like ridiculous how well he improved as a passer. He was a very mediocre passer at Kansas State. He actually became one to now, like, teams are literally talking about him as a first or second round draft pick just because of his year this past year. That's Ryan Day. I want to tell you, C.J. Stroud is Ryan Day. Justin Fields is Ryan Day. Dwayne Haskins is Ryan Day.
Dwayne Haskins too.
JT's improvement in 2017 is Ryan Day. Ryan Day's been improving quarterback since the day he stepped foot on Ohio State. I don't even want to hear anything different.
Corey ain't gonna hear any different
I
tonight.
ain't hearing it.
Steven says, good call. All right, let's go running back. JR or Corey, either one of you two want to give me your running back depth chart?
Dallin
I
Hayden.
can.
No, go ahead, JR.
Dallin Hayden. Not Colorado.
I think C.J. Donaldson's going to be your starter, quote unquote, and then I think James Peoples is going to be kind of your third down back, like James Peoples was. He might not get as many carries as Donaldson does, but I think he's going to be really valuable in pass protection. I think he's going to be really valuable catching the ball. He just seems like that versatile back, and then he's also got some power to him that's going to be versatile as well. And then C.J. Donaldson's going to be your goal line back. I'm completely
You mean
certain on
Peoples or?
No, Donaldson, I think, is going to be a goal
gotcha.
line back.
Yeah.
I actually think it'll be more of a 50-50 split. I think Donaldson will be number RB1, but I think Peoples will play quite a bit. But again, if Peoples can't block, it won't matter. He won't play that much, but because Ryan Day values that in pass protection as much as anything else. But I do think Donaldson was brought in with his experience. He'll be the starter. They didn't want to go with a second-year guy as a starter. At running back anyway. I mean, that shows how much faith they have in Sand, to be quite frank. So I think it'll be closer to what Quinshawn and Trevian split was. I think which Peoples will be on the Trevian end of it. Not saying he'll have Trevian production. I just think he'll be on the Trevian end of the carry percentage.
Yeah, I agree. I agree more along the lines with Corey on this one. I think when they saw how fresh our running backs were in this playoff and the fact that the whole landscape of college football has changed now with these playoffs, and you might even go to more games now. I think they saw what we got from our production out of our backs because they were fresh, and they're really, really going to push for as long as they got two backs they can do it with, and I do believe they do, and I think it's going to be about a 50-50 split. I think it's going to look like Quinshawn and Trey out there as far as snap counts go, different things like that.
Yeah, there is no more RB1, RB2 in college football with 16 game schedules. I think you saw the blueprint last year, and that's exactly what they're going to go with this year. My only question is which one of the freshmen might jump up and surprise us. And if I had my druthers simply based off name cred, give me Bo Jackson, so I can say Bo knows every time he scores or does anything on the field.
Now I don't want him to play. Forget it.
Come on, Corey.
Well, you got Sam William Dixon coming back. He was in the portal, and then he ended up coming back, so he's another one. But he fits more along with Turbo Rogers, that scat back type. Mm-hmm. I feel like, maybe I'm wrong there, but Turbo Rogers has talked about big time. He upped his status this past season with his ability to run the ball. So he might be up there with Bo Jackson as far as a freshman
Well, let me
that
ask
might.
you all this real quick. Do you think Turbo Rogers gets end up getting used like a Xavier Johnson type player, like a Swiss Army knife type player, passing game, running game a little bit here and there, RB1 in a pinch when we needed it?
That's a
'Cause
really good question, Corey, because there's so much unknown now with Brian Hartline as OC.
I was going
Because
to
I
say,
think Williams Dixon could add that change of pace scat back from the two power backs of Donaldson and James Peoples. I wonder if they even sold him on that to come back. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I have no just
say
speculation.
if Chip was here, yes, but we don't know with
Yeah, that's a
Brian
true point. Yeah.
Hartline and what he likes.
If Urban was here, then the question would be 100 times over yes. But that's not,
Yeah.
But I don't think
Who's the
Julian
H
Saint would
back?
be. I don't think Julian Saint would be the quarterback if Urban was here as head coach either.
It'd be Tate Martell. He's got eligibility
Oh my
left.
gosh, tater tot. Oh man, I have such a hot tater tot take, man. And I'm not talking about.
Say that 3 times fast. Hot tater tot take. Hot tater tot take.
There's gonna be a slip up if I do that. All right, let's go to tight ends. Let's do tight ends.
Oh, this is a good one.
Gee, I
Yeah.
wonder.
This is a good one.
Okay, Max Clare, obviously, right? I mean, there's zero doubt about that. I'm going Will Kasmerick as the second one. Jelani Thurman and Bennett Christian are my backups. What do you guys think?
That's so I think you got a player in Jelani that has the skill set to overtake anybody in the room. But based off what we've seen the last couple years, that's not going to happen. You got Bennett Christian, who's becoming a big time leader. I'm in the offseason right now in the tight ends room and was the highest graded blocker per PFF last year, I believe, out of our tight ends. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Will Kazmarek got pretty good, but Max Clare's the starter, dude. And then you're gonna have I think it's gonna be close with who the backup is. I think Jelani, Bennett, and Will Kazmarek are all gonna be in on that, depending on their off seasons. That's just my take.
I think the only question is with Heartline, do we see a lot of 12 personnel next year or not? I think you would like to see that, but Claire is also obviously a receiving threat like we haven't quite had at tight end in a while. So I wonder how they're going to figure that into the offense. But yeah, guy Bennett Christian and Kazmarek are proven blockers that help in the run game. So what do you do with Jelani Thurman? He showed some highlight reel type blocks against Tennessee that never played again. I don't even know what to think there. I don't know if I'm surprised he didn't transfer yet. Is he gone after the spring? I don't know yet. I'll go Kazmarek for now, but that's subject to change.
Yeah, I think Claire's going to be your main receiving guy. I could even see him split out wide a little
Mhm.
bit most of the time. But I think your inline guys are going to be Kazmarek and Christian. And it's just, at this point, it's all up to Jelani Thurman. He's got the talent. He just has to put it all together. From everything you hear Ryan Day say about him and everything behind the scenes, it's just, this is Jelani's job for the taking. If he can become a good blocker and he can put it all together, he's going to do it. And we saw it at times. I mean, there were times last year where you were watching the run plays at the goal line. Jelani just lit a dude up. He just has to do it consistently.
What about Bobby Mack's hot take here?
I could see it. I mean, I hate to say it. I think I agree with Deb. He's extremely talented. I don't want to see him go, but it hasn't come together yet. So I don't know what to think with it.
Well, I have been told, you like the old famous, I have been told when somebody starts with that. I have been told he's going nowhere and he is dialed in and fired up for this year.
Hope
That's
so.
what I've been told by somebody close to Jelani. Now, who knows? So he didn't tell me that directly, so who knows?
I hope you're right. I absolutely would love to
Yeah,
see him stay. So
I would too, but packed
All
room.
right. All right. So we've
when's
done.
the last time we said that about the tight end room?
Yeah, right. Hey, is this tight end room the best tight end room in the nation next year?
I think it might be. I mean, you also got Max LeBlanc and guys like that who haven't played yet.
Nate Roberts, freshman coming in.
Thank you. I was thinking of the other. I was like, there's another one in my head. I can't think of
Brody
Nate Roberts.
Lennon.
Did you all see where what's his name who transferred to Cincinnati, who was from the tight end room?
I know who you're talking
Joy
about.
Joe
Royer.
Royer.
Royer transferred again.
No, did he?
No,
Where'd he
I didn't say
go?
that.
Boy, that was an
Yeah.
all-time miss there.
To-
Him over
Oh,
Luke.
don't
Bush.
even get me started. He choosing Royer over Luke Lachey. That to me was the biggest Ryan Day miss of all time. Literally, you have
I
a
don't know. Kyle McCord over
legend.
JJ McCarthy.
You have a no, I still think this one's bigger than that. You have a legend sitting up in your radio booth who has a son who's tailor made to be a Buckeye sitting right there. And you go, no, I'll go get the guy who has the white afro from Cincinnati, who never did diddly squat on your roster. And Lachey goes on to be a stud at Iowa. I'm still bitter about that one.
I'll give
Uh,
Lachey credit. He made the right choice if he wasn't going to be a Buckeye. He went to tight end.
yeah,
You
he
did.
did. Right. Listen, his daddy's no dummy. All right. He's a Hall of Famer.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that one to me is just,
That's a bad one. Kevin Wilson, thank you for that one.
yeah. Where did he go? Where did I see that Royer transferred to? Let me type it in the old
Akron.
Goop.
That'd be just hilarious because that was always Urban Meyer saying you belong at Akron.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible, man. Let's see. No, that's an old one. Where I just saw it on X. I can't believe it. It's not pulling up yet. Anyways, he's transferring somewhere. You have to look it up. All right, let's go. Let's
You
go to
UC? No, that's the old one. Never
no,
mind.
that's
I
the
don't
old
know.
one. He transferred from UC to somewhere. It's got
We'll be okay with not knowing.
yeah. You'll figure it out. If ever
Yes.
someone in the chat will look it up and
Be
post it
tossing
for
and
us.
turning all night. Where did Joe Royer go?
that's it's like that meme where the wife is thinking he's thinking about other women. I'm over there going, where did Royer transfer again?
And then she responds, "I wish he were thinking about other women."
Oh, I found
Fisherman
it.
says,
It's back to Ohio State.
no, it's not.
I'm just joking. It's not.
We
Fisherman
need
says he
tight
didn't
ends.
transfer. Yeah, he did. I just saw it on X. I thought
All right, that's it. I gotta pull it up.
maybe I made it up. Maybe I don't know. I'm a little out of sorts tonight. Maybe I made
Fake
that up.
news. Fake news.
Fake
Yeah,
news.
It might have been.
golly. Is this on 3?
You're the lamestream media, Eric.
Clickbait. Clickbait. Gonna
I
start
didn't
talking about
click on
Elbert
it.
Hill next.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Let's take another position. Let's go wide receivers. Now, here's how I broke these down, guys. I broke them down by the three wide receiver positions. All right, so we've got the X, the Y, which is the slot, and the Z. Jeremiah Smith at the X, Carnell Tate at the Z. Brandon Ennis is who I've got penciled in at the slot. Anybody disagree?
Mm-mm.
Nope. But there's a lot of discussion for what comes next.
Oh, is there ever? Yeah. Is there ever? Yeah. Zach Guggenheim. Jeremiah Smith might start. Yeah, he
I don't
might.
know.
Yeah.
I disagree with that one, Eric. I don't think Jeremiah's got a chance.
Yeah, he's got I think a pretty good shot.
You
All
know.
right. Here's what I've got penciled in. This is kind of just throwing darts here. I got at the X, freshman Quincy Porter. At the Y, I got redshirt freshman Mylan Graham. And at the Z, I got redshirt sophomore Bryson Rogers.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. That's how I would have it.
Porter will
What-
play early, that's for sure.
What'd you
You
have? You
think
had
so?
it Mylan Graham and who else?
Quincy Porter, Mylan Graham, and Rogers, Bryson Rogers.
Yeah.
Now, can one of them compete with Ennis in the slot?
Graham. You're right,
Mylan Graham.
but he can't block like Ennis. At least we don't know yet. So
But
And
I
the
don't
thing-
think he.
I don't know, man. He's from Indiana. He's got some punch to him when I saw his tape. At least hand fighting. I don't know about blocking as much. They don't put that on tape normally for wide receivers.
that's true. Look at him block. Look at the circle and he's blocking down.
I just think with being a freshman and coming in later like he did, I don't know how caught up he's going to be. Brandon Ennis, dude, he's just seasoned, man, and he's a leader too. So I don't think he's going to be that far ahead of Brandon Ennis to take his starting role. He might be there with him as far as on-field play, and then that leadership aspect is just going to keep Brandon Ennis ahead of him, I believe.
They say Brandon Ennis is like the vocal leader of that
He
room.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Even last year. I mean, The kid's amazing.
You got an interesting one in the room, Demarion Witten. JR, you got much on him? He was recruited as a tight end, but I heard
Yeah,
a
he's
lot of.
sticking at wide receiver.
Is he?
Yeah, tight end
I
room's
heard.
too full, and they need numbers at wide receiver. And
Never understood him as a tight end. I was like, dude, look at a big guy.
Apparently, the way things are working out in the weight room too, it looks like he's working out better as a wide receiver than a tight end as well. So,
any hopes on getting in early, or is he still more developmental? You think?
He could see a little bit of time, kind of in garbage time this year, but I think when you're making that transition from tight end to wide receiver, it's like G. Scott, right? Like he came in as a wide receiver, went over to tight end, had all the abilities, had to learn the position a little bit more. So I think probably next year is more, 2026 is probably more his time.
Gotcha.
By the way, I just looked it up, Eric. Joe Rare did not transfer.
Okay, I got duped. Some bot got the Boggs, man.
Those fake ESPN people.
Good thing I didn't click on it. I might not be able to have a show tonight because I'd have some kind of Trojan horse on my computer.
You should unsubscribe to On3, man. They put that stuff out all the time, dude.
Blue Wolverine gifted us 10 memberships. Christopher Mercado with 1. Let's see here. Let's scroll down. Cynthia Taylor gets one of those. Welcome. Kill Bill 401970. Chris Begley. Tur Esquia? Is it Ture Esquia or Tur Esquia?
It's the best part, trying to listen to you pronounce all these names so far.
I got this one. Michael Scott.
There we go.
Janet Polly. Maddie C. Let's see. Anybody else here?
I didn't. Can you redo the Kill Bill one? I didn't quite catch that.
Brian Day's championship beard was gifted a membership. And look at that. Zach Guggenheim got one. Zach, go check out some of those behind the scene videos. Kill Bill 401970. Is that like a part of his social security number? Or?
You got a bot has a subscription now.
Bill. All right. I wonder if we'll ever get a email from Bill 401970. That would make my day. Real fast. Let's also give this is my third string because, I do things like that. Actually, let's see. I got David Adolf as in the X. Desi, is it Jones or is it Dizzy?
Desi Jones.
Desi Jones at the Y and Philip Bell at the Z, and that's just total guess. And don't forget about Miller, the freshman from from Mansfield, Ontario Mansfield, who was a quarterback. He really intrigues me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm kind of getting some Troy Smith vibes from him.
Is 6'4", 440? Yeah.
Lazy.
He's got it. Hey, JR's Brandon Scrim. You know him, the wide receiver on our team. Did he graduate or is he still here?
I don't think so. I think he's still there. He may have graduated, but I don't know. We'll probably find out in spring ball for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we got to hustle. Let's get to the offensive line. Oh, this is going to be debated. All right, here we go.
I don't know.
Left tackle, we got the transfer. Ethan and JR, what's the pronunciation?
Nope, that's wrong. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Anianwa.
That was pretty good. Anianwa.
Ethan Anianwa.
Ethan Anianwa. Left guard, I'm putting Luke Montgomery there to start off. Center, Carson Hinsman. Right guard, I'll put Tager Shabola there to start off. Right tackle, I'm going with the transfer Philip Daniels. Let's argue.
I think you're pretty dead on there, in my opinion.
I'm going Ian Moore as the right tackle, and then Austin Sarahveld as the right guard.
I don't hate it. And here's
my take. Yeah.
Here's my reasoning why. Let me explain this real fast. Because here's my second string. Left tackle, Devontae Armstrong. Left guard, Austin Sierveld. Man, I've struggled with that one. Center, Joshua Padilla. Right guard, Deontay Armstrong. Right tackle, Ian Moore. Guys, this is the deepest our offensive line has been in years. You don't think so, Corey?
I mean, it's not deep till they prove that they're deep. I mean, I don't know about the Armstrong twins yet. I have no idea if they're going to be good or not. I hope they are.
They're only in their second year too.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's like saying it's deep is like, to me, you got to have a proven 8 to 9. Like Servold is a good say guy to say we're deep with, because he's got a lot of playing time and he's proven he can play. Ian Moore, I'm excited about. I like him. I just don't know. I know Philip Daniels has played. I think Ian Moore's got the body for it. I think he's got the potential for it. They like him a lot. Padilla, same thing. Padilla's played like 30 snaps. I just don't know.
Yeah, I think tackle is where you're going to have, Fisherman's right there. No depth at tackle. I mean, you have Ian Moore, who you're hopeful in, but at the end of the day, your starting right tackle is most likely a guy who started 4 games last year at Minnesota as a redshirt freshman. Now, I'm not knocking Philip Daniels. He did a really good job coming in there and starting late in the season like that for him, but you brought in a long-time starter in your left tackle, so that's great, but you get another Josh Simmons situation, it's you don't have Donovan Jackson on the inside to go out there. You don't have an All-American waiting to go out there. Interior, I like the depth there. I think Padilla is going to be ready if he's called upon. I would not, and I'm not predicting this would happen, but I would not put it completely out that Padilla starts at center and Hinsman goes to right guard
Or not left guard?
or left guard and Montgomery. Like, some version of Montgomery, Padilla, Hinsman.
Yeah. That's kind of what I have been almost questioning.
The biggest question is Padilla. And Hinsman still is not great at snapping. We even saw it last year. So right. If Padilla shows that he's ready, they're going to put him in there. I think he wrestler, made to be a center. It's what he's been doing this entire time he's there, getting good snapping. So
he was born for that position, dude.
I don't know if you can start a brand new starting center, a brand new starting quarterback, and a brand new transfer or brand new starting running back. Like,
so here's where I'm at with the center thing. If you remember last year, one point in time, Ryan Day said the Carson Hinsman ordeal was because Carson was the backup center, right? So they really didn't want to use him at one of the guard positions because of how important it is to have a backup center. So you put Josh Padilla there, and if Carson Hinsman plays guard, is he still your backup center? Would they rotate him like that? Because that was my question there. But I still got Carson starting. I think he's training with LaCharles specifically on being a center. I could be wrong there, but Josh Padilla was talked about a lot too. So you just never know. I feel better about the depth this year than I did last year, but
100%.
Clearly our feelings don't matter too much, because if we would have told you what happened last year would have happened, we would have said, no way you're winning a national title. So our feelings don't mean much, obviously, but I feel confident with the experience and depth we have. The Philip Daniels and Ian Moore debate is just that he's been in our program longer. Same, Philip Daniels only has 4-game experience over him at Minnesota. So I don't know how much of an edge that he would have, but I think tackle's one of the positions that they have to go into the portal for as far as bodies. You got to have more tackle bodies in the room, period. Like, we missed in recruiting. We lost like 3 tackles out of the portal, and you only brought in 2, and we were already low. So I don't see how they don't go get a tackle in the portal, but I don't know.
They didn't even try in recruiting, Devin. It wasn't that we missed.
I know.
We weren't even trying.
Trust me, I
know, dude. What, 2 or 3 tackles?
Yeah.
Well, we see that Tyler Bowen is already trying to change that.
Don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
He's spreading a much wider net, and I'm thankful to see that.
Yep.
Dude, Bobby Mack, I don't think you're nuts at all with what you're bringing there.
For other reasons, yes, but not for that. Yes.
This very well could happen.
Yeah, I
mean, and if it does, then yeah, you've got more depth but I was talking with the Sky U Pod guys at JR. They are so upset that we took their starting right tackle. They think he's a stud. And yeah, we'll see. I agree with you, Devin. I think that's the other position I was going to get to at the end here. I think we got to get at least 1 quarterback from the portal, if not 2, if we lose 1 to the portal. And I do think we have to go back to the portal for another offensive lineman for depth reasons. and it's tackle. Who is the third string center? Do any of you guys know?
Jake Cook.
Is he?
I don't
Only
know.
this podcast would we say, who's the third string center?
Yeah, because he's the
I
only
love it.
he's in the other center on the team.
We are sick, JR. That's why. That's why.
I do love the fact we took Miles Walker over Phillip Daniels in recruiting. That was just a stroke of genius there.
Is that your Royer / Luke?
It's not as bad as that. Okay, it's not. But Phillip Daniels being Paris Johnson's cousin, and it's like Miles Walker was like a long shot from the Northeast. It's like, why? Okay, well, whatever. I'm not the evaluator here.
In all
but
honesty,
you could be, and you do a better job, Corey.
If you call the recruits more than once a month, it's an upgrade.
That's true. That's why I'm actually loving Bowen right now. It's because it's like, man, he's calling everybody
twice a week.
Exactly.
Oh, and he's not trying to go down south either. He's not trying to go to like Mississippi and Alabama and be like, hey, come on up here to Ohio State. He's going out to Idaho. Like, maybe we should go out to Arizona where we already recruit well.
Time out. Mika's saying Toby Wilson. Is he still with the team?
He is.
I thought he graduated. I thought he was like going to coach. Like, because he graduated.
No, he did graduate, didn't he?
Yeah, because he walked and everything.
Yeah, they were talking about him coming back on as a GA or whatever.
GA. Hey, guess what? Our GA is going to play. He's the third string center.
So
he's GA.
in that way of thinking, Ryan Day is like what, our fourth string quarterback. So,
RJ, the ball.
RJ already.
yeah. Absolutely.
But the real question is, who do you think our fourth string center would be?
But wait a second. Fisherman said he's a redshirt senior this year. I was at senior day. He literally walked and handed his mom flowers.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, but Cody Simon walked too, and then he came back. So just because you walk doesn't mean you can't come back.
Well, then if he's there, he's probably the third string guy then.
That would be who your third string center would be, 100%. It'd be Toby.
We have solved two major world crises tonight.
We have.